Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, flower pot men, flower pot men, flower pot men, Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, flower pot men.
Once upon a time, there was a little house. And all round the house was a beautiful garden. And down at the bottom of the garden was a place where the man who worked in the garden left his things while he went into the house to have his dinner. One day, when he'd gone into the house to have his dinner, he left behind his scarf and 2 handkerchiefs pegged on a line to dry. And there were the flower pots as usual. 2 little ones, 2 middle-sized ones. Oh, yes, and an old hat lying on the ground. And there were the 2 great big flower pots. And just behind was a little weed. And there they all were, lying quietly in the warm sunshine. The little weed looked all about her, and when she saw that everything was quiet, she knocked gently on one of the big flower pots. And out of the flower pot came a little flower pot man. Then the little weed knocked gently on the other flower pot. And out came the other flower pot man. They leaned over the edge of their flower pots and said hello to each other.
Hello, Pip.
Hello, Pip.
Then they said hello to the little weed.
Hello, Pip, Weep.
Hello, Pip, Weep.
And they jumped out of their flower pots.
Oh.
Then they looked round for something to play with.
Oh.
There wasn't anything but the old hat the man had left in the garden.
Oh, odd hop.
Odd hop.
And they wondered what they could do with it.
Oh, what a cuddle doodlip.
Odd hop, Mopp.
Then suddenly one of them said, in his flower pot way of talking, I know. Let's fill it with water.
Oh, Mopp. Lord, Philip, Whip, Philip.
Pip.
The other one thought it was a very good idea, because then they could have a bath.
Oh, noddle, cuddle, hopper, splooperbush.
Splooperbush.
But first, one of them would have to fetch some water.
Oh, flip.
All up.
So the first flower pot man hurried off to get some water, and the other one went on playing with the hat.
Oh.
First he looked inside to see if there was enough room to get in. Then he looked to see if there were any holes in the hat for the water to run out.
Moo.
But there weren't any holes, and he was getting tired of waiting. So he called out to his friend to hurry up.
Hurry up.
All up, cop up.
And in came the first flower pot man with a big can of water, all ready to fill up the bath.
Oh, swoosh.
Oh, flip.
Swoosh.
Oh, flip.
Oh, swoosh.
Oh, flip. Oh.
Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Oh, swoosh.
While he was putting the water in, the second flower pot man kept talking to his friend and telling him he'd always wanted to have a bath.
Oh, waddle, hopper, splooperbush.
Splooperbush. Oh, plush.
Oh, flip.
When there was enough water, the second flower pot man said, in his flower pot way of talking, now I can have a bath, but I don't want to get my boots wet.
Another cob, hopper, splooperbush.
No, model gotta feel well.
The first flower pot man wanted to have a bath too, but he said You get in first while I put the can away.
All glipip, apple clapper up.
Now everything was ready. And the flower pot man got in very carefully. There he was, sitting in the bath with his feet sticking out. Then he thought he ought to have more water. And while his friend was fetching more water, he started singing in his bath.
Splishy washy wish, splashy wishy wish, splashy wash wash plip. Rub-a-dub-dub, rub-a-lub-lub, splishy wash wash plip. Splashy wash wash, splashy wash wash, splashy wash wash wash. Splishy wish wish, washy wish wish, rub-a-dub-dub plip.
Soon the first flower pot man came back with the can and began pouring the water into the bath.
Splush.
And the second flower pot man called out, "Mind my boots." He was very proud of his boots, and he didn't want to get them wet. Then he went on singing while his friend put the can away.
Splashy washy washy, splashy washy wish, washy wish wish plip. Rub-a-lub-a-lub, rub-a-lub-a-lub, splish wash wish plip.
When the first flower pot man came back, he wanted to get in. It was his turn now.
Oh, club up, it'll my top.
The second flower pot man didn't want to get out. He pretended he hadn't finished washing.
Oh, yup, yup, hop. Oh, yup, yup, hop.
The other one told him he wasn't going to wait any longer. He must come out.
Well, club up.
While they were arguing, they tipped the hat over, spilt the water, and they both got very wet.
Do plop me.
I plopped up.
And look, his boots were wet.
The hop.
The other flower pot man's boots were wet too.
Oh, blop up top.
How were they to get dry? Then the first flower pot man had an idea, and he pointed to the washing that was drying on the line.
Oh, what a lot of life.
What a life.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
And they started tugging at the handkerchiefs.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
And when they got them down, they began to dry their boots.
Wop, 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 web bloop.
Wop, 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 bloop. Oh.
But their boots were still wet, so they tried to think of something else. And one of them called out, "I know. Let's dry on the line like the washing."
Oh, I'm not. I'd lie, blah, blah.
So they went over to the scarf hanging up to dry on the line, and they jumped in.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh.
And while they were swinging their legs to dry, they started singing all over again.
Splush, push, 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 push.
Rub-a-lub-a-lub, rub-a-lub-a-lub, rub-a-lub-lub, plip. wash, wish, plip.
Rub-a-lub-lub, swash-a-wash-wash, rub-a-lub-lub-lub. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo.
After a while, one of them slipped off and crept away. And what do you think he did?
Bop-bop-a-lub-bop, rub-a-dub-dub-lub. Rub-a-dub-dub-dib-dub-ba-dib-bop-dub-lob. Rub-a-dib-bop-spip. Oh!
He'd undone the end of the clothesline. All this time, the little weed had been watching, and she knew which of the flower pot men had untied the clothesline. Now listen, because the little weed is going to ask a question.
Was it Bill or was it Ben made his friend fall down just then? Which of those two flower pot men? Was it Bill or was it Ben?
Do you know? You listen again.
Was it Bill or was it Ben made his friend fall down just then? Which of those two flower pot men? Was it Bill or was it Ben?
Was it Bill or was it Ben? It was Bill. It was Bill. Bad little Bill.
Ba-dip-bop-dip.
There they both were, looking round at all the things they'd been playing with. They thought the garden looked very untidy,
Oh, idle-oddle-toddle.
Idle-oddle-toddle.
and perhaps they'd better hang up the clothesline again.
Toddle-huddle-up-lipe.
Hurry up.
So one of them held it up, and the other one went off to tie it up.
Oh, 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 I flopped up. Oh,
They shook the scarf to get the mud off,
Oh,
oh, oh,
and then they went over to the hat to see if it was getting dry.
oh, oh, fuddle-oh-hop.
toddle-hop.
Oh, oh, hop. Oh, it'll drop.
It'll drop.
It'll drop.
Then they both got in
Oh,
Up, up,
and started rocking up and down.
deep, top, muddy little top.
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 They would have gone on playing, but they heard little Weed calling.
Oh,
Oh,
She was telling them that the man who does the garden had finished his dinner, and she heard him coming down the garden path. So they hurried back and jumped into their flower pots again.
oh,
Then they said goodbye to each other.
bow up,
bob,
bow up,
bob,
bow up.
bob,
Then they said goodbye to the little Weed.
Bow up, dip up, weep. Weep,
bob, dip up, weep.
weep.
The little Weed stayed behind the flower pots and went fast asleep. And there they were in the warm sunshine. I expect the man who worked in the garden thought the wind had blown the handkerchiefs down. Nobody knew about the flower pot men. Only you saw them playing. And the little Weed. And I think the little house knew something about it. Don't you?
Goodbye, Bill. Goodbye, Ben. Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, flower pot men. Goodbye, Bill. Goodbye, Ben. Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, flower pot men.
Here is a box, a musical box, wound up and ready to play. But this box can hide a secret inside. Can you guess what is in it today? It's Dr. Mopp. Hello, Doctor. Are you very busy? A lot of illness about? No. I'm very glad to hear it. That's because you look after your patients so well. Are you off on your rounds? May we come with you? If you want a doctor, get Dr. Mopp. For he can stop a sneeze or a wheeze or a lump or a bump, a headache, a sprain or rheumatic pain. So if you're feeling sickly, please call him quickly. He can cure all ills with his pale pink medicine and sugar-coated pills. Well, that's clever of you, Doctor, to get away from Mrs. Honeyman, who never stops talking. The doctor starts his car, climbs into the driver's seat, and off he goes. If you want a doctor, get Dr. Mopp, for he can cure all ills with his pale pink medicine and sugar-coated pills. Hello, the doctor has stopped outside Mr. Murphy's bakery. Mr. Murphy comes out to greet him. They both go inside, which is of great interest to Mrs. Honeyman. Here is something to gossip about. She hurries across to tell Mrs. Dingle in the post office. In their bedroom, over the baker's shop, Mary and Paddy Murphy are in bed with bad colds. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Yes, a few days in bed will soon put them right. I'll send round some pink medicine. Ah, so you caught your colds when you caught your tadpoles. Treacherous time of the year for paddling. Next time I'd stick to the tadpoles. Oh, but Doctor, that isn't all. When he was paddling, Paddy cut his foot on a bit of broken bottle. Imagine breaking bottles in a pond where children paddle. Oh dear, how can people be so stupid? Meanwhile, in the post office, Mrs. Honeyman keeps a watchful eye on the bakery. At last, she sees the doctor leave. Good, he's gone. Now I can call on dear Mrs. Murphy and find out what's happening. Mrs. Honeyman hurries off to collect her pram, which she left under the charge of Peter the postman, who happened to be emptying the pillar box at the time. Now he can get on with his work. Thank you, Mr. Hazel, calls Mrs. Honeyman, and she starts to make her baby comfortable. Ah, there's a good boy. Come along, we'll go to the bakery. Oh! Mrs. Honeyman has just noticed her baby's face is covered in spots. Red spots. Oh dear, we must go to the doctor. What Mrs. Honeyman did not notice was one of the boys from Pippin Fort. He is busy repainting the post office, and he's using red paint. Dr. Mopp is answering an urgent call from Windy Miller. He is driving his old car as fast as he can to Colley's Mill. Poor old Windy. What can be the matter? At the mill, everything is quiet. The sails are still, and there is no sign of Windy. The doctor has brought a specially large case with him. This looks serious. What is he doing? Is he playing a game? Ah, a camera. The doctor is a keen photographer. I wonder what sort of picture he's going to take. He's found Windy Miller, who appears to be hiding behind a bush. Windy is pointing something out to the doctor. A thrush's nest in the tree. So that's what the doctor wants to photograph. Like Windy, he loves everything to do with the country. He would especially like to have a photo of thrushes making their nest. They are nesting early this year. Now he must wait for them to come back. But suddenly the doctor has remembered something. He looks at his watch. Oh my goodness! I should be at Pippin Fort for Captain Snort's medical parade. I must be off. I'll try to get back soon. Captain Snort must not be kept waiting. At Pippin Fort, Captain Snort's military academy, it is nearly time for parade. Fall in. Sergeant Major Grout takes a deep breath and orders, "Attention! Slope! Hums! Order! Hums! And the Sergeant Major marches across to Captain Snort. He reports that the men are ready for Dr. Mopp's inspection. But where is Dr. Mopp? Here he is, just in time. Sergeant Major Grout orders, "On the command move, you put out your tongues. Company, move!" And out come 6 tongues. The medical inspection has started. Well, that didn't take long. The boys are as fit as fiddles. Now the doctor is on his way to Bell's farm. Farmer Jonathan Bell is looking very worried. If only the doctor would come. Ah, that sounds like his horn. Yes, here he comes. Hello, Doctor. Thank goodness you've come. That's a bad cough, says Dr. Mopp. It is that, says Farmer Bell, and she's had it for 2 days now. Dr. Mopp is very sorry to hear it. Does it keep her awake at nights? Yes, it does, says Farmer Bell. But I give her a bucket of water, and that seems to help. A bucket of water? For your wife? No, not for my wife, for the old cow. Look. The vet is coming out to her soon. Oh no, cold water wouldn't help my wife. She's gone down with the rheumatics. Treacherous time of the year for rheumatics. Well, if it's rheumatics, hot water might help her. We'd better go and see her. Cold water, hot water. Well, there's a lot to be said for simple remedies. Hello, Doctor. Is Mrs. Bell all right? Did you give her some medicine? Did you give her some pills? And plenty of hot water bottles? And now you're on the way home. The doctor gets out of his car and has a word with Police Constable McGarry. P.C. McGarry agrees people must not throw bottles about, much too dangerous. Yes, he will go and talk to the school children about it. Good idea. Well, that's all the business for today. But no, Mrs. Honeyman is waiting, with her baby, who still has red spots over his face. Oh, Doctor, is it serious, Doctor? Is it measles, Doctor? What is it, Doctor? Paint. Paint? Yes, red paint. Well, there you are, Mrs. Honeyman. Look out for painters when you park your baby, especially for painters who splash their paint about. And for once, Mrs. Honeyman had nothing to say. Hello, Doctor. Going out on your rounds again? Many patients to see this morning? If you want a doctor, get Dr. Mopp, for he can cure all ills with his pale pink medicine and sugar-coated pills.
Pandy's coming to play, la 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 la. Pandy's here today, la 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 la.
Pandy's waiting for us somewhere. Let's go and find him. There's his room, but where is he? I can't see him. Can you? There's Looby-Loo in the rocking chair. Looby-Loo, where are the others? She's pointing to the door. So I suppose Andy, Pandy and Teddy have gone out to play and must be somewhere in the garden. Have they, Looby? What are they doing out there? Look, she's jumping up and down. Is that what Andy and Teddy are doing, I wonder? Well, we'll soon see, because I can hear them coming. Run back, Looby-Loo. Hurry up. Here they are, and they are jumping. Look, up and down, up and down. If you're going on like that, Andy, we'd better have some music to jump to.
Jumping, jumping, jumping up and down. Jumping, jumping, all around the town. Jumping, jumping, jumping up and down. Jumping, jumping, all around the town.
Once again, Andy.
Jumping, jumping, jumping up and down. Jumping, jumping,
That's the same tune as the marching song, isn't it? Are you going to jump too, children? See if you can jump when Andy and Teddy do. 1, 2, 3, jump. 1, 2, 3, jump. Oh, Teddy, you're always late. Try again. 1, 2, 3, jump. Now let's have the music. You can't jump all around the town, can you? But you can jump all around the room. Here we go.
Jumping, jumping, jumping up and down. Jumping, jumping all around the town. Jumping, jumping, jumping up and down. Jumping, jumping all around the town.
Just once more, Andy.
Jumping, jumping, jumping up and down. Jumping, jumping all around the town. Jumping, jumping, jumping up and down. Jumping, jumping all around the town.
That's enough jumping for today, I think, don't you? What shall we do now? Go out into the garden? All right, let's go after them and see what there is out there. Come along. A trampoline. How lovely, Andy. Now I see why you couldn't stop jumping. Show us what you can do. That's splendid. What about Teddy? Can he do it too? Don't jump off, Andy. You might hurt yourself. Sit down first. And then get off. That's right. Now it's Teddy's turn. Oh, dear, that wasn't very good, was it? Try again, Teddy. No good. Andy, come and show him. Now, what do you do first? Go down like that. And what do you do then? Stretch up, make yourself tall, then jump. That's fine, Andy. Let's see if Teddy can do any better than before. We'll have some music to help them both along. You listen.
Pandy jumps up on the trampoline, hippity hippity hop. Pandy jumps up on the trampoline, stippity stippity stop. Pandy jumps up on the trampoline, hippity hippity hop. Pandy jumps up on the trampoline, stippity stippity stop.
Oh, poor old Ted has fallen off. Never mind. The grass is nice and soft. Come along. Up you get. Try again.
Teddy jumps up on the trampoline, hippity hippity hop. Teddy jumps up on the trampoline, stippity stippity stop. Teddy jumps up on the trampoline, hippity hippity hop. Teddy jumps up on the trampoline, stippity stippity stop.
I should think you are out of breath after all that. And tired too, I expect. Take him into the house, Andy, and have a rest while you both have some buns and milk. Children, do you see someone behind the wall? It's Looby Loo. I wonder how long she's been there. She must have crept out into the garden as soon as we left her. Did you see Andy, Pandy and Teddy on the trampoline, Looby? Do you want to try? No? Don't you like jumping? But that's what a trampoline is for. Why do you want to get on it? Look, she's lying down. She thinks it makes a nice soft bed. I must say she looks very comfortable. Don't go to sleep, Looby, because Andy and Teddy won't be long over their buns and milk. Besides, we want you to play with us while the others are away. Come along, get up. There are still some children who don't know who you are.
Who with you? Who is Looby-Loo? Little rag doll who plays with you. Who is Looby-Loo? Little rag doll who plays with you. Who is Looby-Loo? Little rag doll who plays with you.
Now we know who you are. Let's have a look at you. Show us your pretty clothes.
Little Looby-Loo is here for all to see, with pretty little yellow plaits as tiny as can be. Little skirt of blue and white, little shoes of green. Looby is the best rag doll that ever has been seen.
That was very nice, Looby. But where are you going? Back onto the trampoline. If you're going to lie down again, Looby, I think we'd better go and make sure that Andy and Teddy stay away for a while. But don't go to sleep, or you won't hear them when they do come back. Goodbye. Come along. Let's find the others. But wait a minute. I can hear a tinkling sound like little toy bells. Hello, Andy. What's this? Bells on your wrists. And Teddy has some on his paws. What do you do with them, Andy Pandy? Shake them, like the song. Shake your bells and make them ring. All right, let's have it then.
Shake your bells and make them ring. Ting-a-ling, 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 ting. Shake your bells and make them ring. Ting-a-ling, 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 ting. Shake them softly, make them sing. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling. Shake them softly, make them sing. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-ting. Shake your bells and make them ring. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling-ting.
You could ask someone to make some bells for you like Andy's, couldn't you? Andy, come closer and show us. It's only a piece of ribbon with a few toy bells sewn on. Then next time we have that song, you'll be able to shake your bells and make them ring. But just pretend for today and shake your hands.
Shake your bells and make them ring. Ting-a-ling, 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 ting. Shake your bells and make them ring. Ting-a-ling, 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 ting. Shake them softly, make them sing. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling. Shake them softly, make them sing. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-ting. Shake your bells and make them ring. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling-ting.
Do you want to go out to that trampoline again? Well, take your bells off first and put them away. And children, while they're doing that, let's go back and make sure Looby-Loo isn't still on the trampoline. Looby-Loo, wake up. Andy and Teddy are coming. Looby, you call her, children. Looby, they're here. Hello, Teddy. Andy Pandy, are you going to play on the trampoline again? Well, we're all longing to see what you can do. That was very good, Andy. Now it's Teddy's turn. But I don't suppose he'll be as good as Andy because he's so little. Andy. I believe you were only pretending to fall about when we first saw you. You naughty little thing to play a trick on us like that. Even Andy Pandy thought you didn't know anything about it. You did know. You knew all the time. Well, they caught us nicely, didn't they? And now as you're both so good on the trampoline, let's see what you can do together. That's enough now, Andy. We have to say goodbye until next time. Wave to the children. It's time to leave them now, children, but we'll see them again soon. Goodbye, Andy Pandy. Goodbye, Teddy.
Time to stop play, just for today. Andy and Teddy must now go away. Time to stop play, just for today. Andy is waving goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
On the pavement, in Festive Road, a group of children were playing cowboys and Indians. Number 52 is Mr. Benn's house. Mr. Benn was indoors reading a newspaper. He read that a cowboy film was showing at the cinema. Mr. Benn liked cowboy films, and he decided to go and see it. When he reached the cinema, he saw a long queue of people waiting to go in. What a crowd, thought Mr. Benn. I'll never get in to see the film. Never mind. I'll be a cowboy. I'll go to that special costume shop. Inside the shop, as if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared. "Good morning, sir," he said. "You look as if you know which costume you want today." "Yes," said Mr. Benn, "the cowboy outfit." "Certainly, sir," said the shopkeeper. Mr. Benn took the outfit into the fitting room. Inside the room, he changed into the outfit. Looked at himself in the mirror as he usually did, and then went through the door that could lead to an adventure. Outside, Mr. Benn found himself in a rocky landscape. From behind a large pile of rocks, he could see little clouds of smoke. He went over to the pile of rocks, climbed up, and peeped over the top. The smoke was coming from a fire. A red Indian was waving a blanket so that the smoke from the fire made different patterns. Smoke signals, thought Mr. Benn, and he looked to see who the Indian was signalling to. In the distance, he saw a town of wooden houses. A cowboy town, thought Mr. Benn. I don't expect the Indian is signalling to them. Then he saw some more little clouds of smoke. They came from a group of Indian tents. Wigwams, the Indians called them. Mr. Benn decided to have a closer look. When he reached the village, he kept out of sight behind one of the wigwams. He could hear the sound of drums. Carefully, he looked to see what was happening. He saw a group of Indians dancing round a pole, a totem pole. The totem pole was carved and brightly painted. Mr. Benn looked at it carefully. It was the first one he'd ever seen.
Redskins will beat the Cowboys today. We'll beat the Cowboys today.
The Indians were shouting as they danced.
Redskins will beat the Cowboys today. We'll beat the Cowboys today. Redskins will beat the Cowboys today. Redskins.
A war dance, thought Mr. Benn. I must warn the cowboys in the town.
Beat the Cowboys today. Redskins will beat the Cowboys today.
Nearby were some horses. Mr. Benn took one and rode off. In the town, Mr. Benn fired his gun to attract attention. The door of the jail opened and the sheriff looked out. "Look out! The Indians are coming," called Mr. Benn. "They say they're going to beat you today." "We're ready," said the sheriff. "They will probably beat us. They always do. Still, it's a good game." "Game?" said Mr. Benn. "The hide-and-seek game, of course," said the sheriff. "Every week, the Indians play hide-and-seek with us cowboys. An Indian and a cowboy both hide. Then the Indian team looks for the cowboy, and the cowboy team looks for the Indian. The team to find the hider first wins. Every week the same thing happens. The Indian vanishes and we never find him. Sometimes the Indians don't find the cowboy, but even then it's only a draw. We never win." Just then, the Indians arrived. They smiled and waved and said they were ready to beat the cowboys again. "May I play?" asked Mr. Benn. "Sure," said the sheriff. "You can be the man to run off and hide." The two teams lined up opposite each other. At one end stood the Indian chief and the sheriff. They were the judges. At the other end stood Mr. Benn and the Indian who was going to hide. "Ready," called the sheriff. Both teams knelt down and closed their eyes. "Go," said the chief, and Mr. Benn and the Indian ran off to hide. The sheriff and the chief began counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Mr. Benn peeped over the edge of the rock where he was hiding. In the sand below, he could see his own footprints. "Oh dear," he thought. "Anyone could follow those and find me easily. I must find somewhere else to hide." He looked around. Near the Indian village was a wood. Mr. Benn had an idea. He ran towards the wood, making sure that he was leaving a good trail of footprints for the Indians to follow. When he reached the wood, he climbed into a tree. Mr. Benn's idea was to cross the wood by moving from tree to tree along the branches, so that he wouldn't leave any footprints on the ground for the Indians to follow. When he reached the other side of the wood, he was very near the wigwams. The next part of the plan was to walk backwards to the wigwams with bare feet. Now it will look as if someone with bare feet has walked from the Indian village to the woods, he thought. The village is the last place they will look for me. Mr. Benn hid in one of the wigwams. Through a slit in the side, he could see the totem pole. It looked even taller than he remembered it. There were the heads, the animals, the fish, the large bird, and the Indian on top. The Indian on top? That wasn't there before. It was an Indian, all right. The Indian who was hiding from the cowboys.
95.
Back at the start, the counting had almost finished.
100.
The teams rushed off to find Mr. Benn and the Indian. The Indians easily followed Mr. Benn's footprints to the wood. But at the wood, it seemed that he had just disappeared. Meanwhile, the cowboys had followed the Indian to the village, but they just couldn't find him anywhere. Inside the wigwam, Mr. Benn had been busy. He tied a feather to the end of a long stick. Now he was ready to carry out his next plan. Suddenly, from above the cowboys, came a laugh. The cowboys looked up and shouted with delight. They had found the Indian. Then they saw the stick with the feather. And Mr. Benn came out of the wigwam. The sheriff said, "You tricked the Indians when you hid, and you found the hiding Indian. You won the game for us. Thanks to you, we won for the first time ever. You deserve a prize." And he gave Mr. Benn his badge. And when Mr. Benn asked the Indians if they would do their dance for him, even they were happy. Suddenly, a man appeared. He asked Mr. Benn to show him where he had hidden. Mr. Benn went back into the wigwam, and as he did so, he found himself back in the fitting room of the shop. Mr. Benn changed back into his own clothes. He went back into the shop and returned the cowboy outfit. "Thank you," he said to the shopkeeper. "May I keep the sheriff's badge?" "Of course you may, sir. You earned it," said the shopkeeper. Back in Festive Road, the children were now playing hide and seek. At his gate, Mr. Benn looked at the sheriff's badge. He wouldn't forget that game as long as he had the badge to remind him.
Once upon a time, not so long ago, there was a little girl, and her name was Emily. And she had a shop. There it is. It was rather an unusual shop because it didn't sell anything. You see, everything in that shop window was a thing that somebody had once lost, and Emily had found, and brought home to Bagpuss. Emily's cat, Bagpuss. The most important, the most beautiful, the most magical, saggy old cloth cat in the whole wide world. Well now, one day Emily found a thing. And she brought it back to the shop and put it down in front of Bagpuss, who was in the shop window, fast asleep as usual. But then Emily said some magic words. "Bagpuss, dear Bagpuss, old fat furry catpuss, wake up and look at this thing that I bring. Wake up, be bright, be golden and light. Bagpuss, oh hear what I sing." And Bagpuss was wide awake. And when Bagpuss wakes up, all his friends wake up too. The mice on the mouse organ woke up and stretched. Madeleine, the rag doll. Gabriel, the toad.
Oh, look, look.
And last of all, Professor Yaffle, who was a very distinguished old woodpecker. He climbed down off his bookend and went to see what it was that Emily had brought.
A basket. Yes, a basket with things in it. How nice of Miss Emily to bring us a basket with things in it. I'm not at all sure what we're supposed to do with it. I can't see what the things are.
It's a twig broom, a tiny broom made of twigs.
What's it for? What do you do with it? What's it for?
You brush the cobwebs out of the sky, don't you, Madeleine?
That's right. If you can get up high enough, like the old woman.
Eh? Which old woman? Where?
Up in the sky.
Oh, where? What?
We're going to sing a song.
There was an old woman tossed up in a basket 17 times as high as the moon. Where she was going I couldn't but ask it, for in her hand she carried a broom. Old woman, old woman, old woman, quoth I, where are you going to up so high? To brush the cobwebs out of the sky. Shall I go with you, I by and by?
There's an organ roll here. The marvellous mechanical mouse organ.
There was an old woman tossed up in a basket 17 times as high as the moon. Where she was going I couldn't but ask it. In her hand she carried a broom. Old woman, old woman, old woman, quoth I, where are you going to up so high? To brush the cobwebs out of the sky. Shall I go with you, I by and by?
It's all very unlikely. This basket couldn't possibly be the one the old woman was tossed up in. If indeed she ever was. And I certainly don't think she could have gone 17 times as high as the moon. That's rather a long way up.
The moon isn't nearly as far away as the sun.
Isn't it, Jenny Mouse? How do you know?
My Uncle Henry once went to the sun. Or nearly.
Your Uncle Henry? Oh, he was a church mouse, I think.
Yes, that's right. Uncle Henry and Auntie Ada. They were church mice. They were very good church mice. They brought in daisies to decorate the church and even sang in the choir, but they had such small voices that nobody ever heard them, and they were very poor because nobody ever left bacon rind or breadcrumbs in the collection for them, or even seemed to know that they were there at all. Well, one day Uncle Henry said he wasn't going to be a poor church mouse any longer. He was going to be a rich church mouse. He was going to make a flying machine out of a little basket and some cabbage leaves, and fly up and scrape some of the gold off the sun with a teaspoon. Auntie Ada said she thought the sun was rather a long way up, but Uncle Henry showed her that it was only just above the weathercock on the steeple. Uncle Henry and Auntie Ada flew their flying machine up into the sky. They flew it above the weathercock and up, up, up into the clouds and above the clouds. But however high they flew, the sun seemed just as far away as ever. The sun is running away from us, explained Uncle Henry. We must go home. They didn't quite know where their church was, and so by mistake they came down in the bishop's palace beside the cathedral. They were lucky, though, because they were met by an important-looking cathedral mouse who was very wise and learned. He told them that the sun is not made of gold, but of fire, and is 93 million miles away. He also said there was plenty of bacon rind at the bishop's palace, and said the bishop will be happy to invite them to breakfast every day.
They weren't poor church mice any more.
Would this basket fly? This basket here?
No, of course not.
though I suppose it could be made to fly. There must be something that flaps air like a bird's wing does.
I know. Mice, look on the shelf there, behind the blue and white jar.
Come on, look. There are two sort of stick things here. Look.
Thank you. Now, look at this.
Ooh.
Isn't that beautiful?
What is it for?
This is a fan. You flap it and it blows cool air on you to keep you cool in warm weather. Like this. There.
Lovely. That's nice. That's lovely.
Yeah. Now, what exactly are you all doing?
We are going to make the basket into a flying machine by fixing these two fans to it.
Well, I don't want to seem discouraging or anything, but I'm not sure that would really work. I happen to be, in my way, something of an expert on the subject of flying machines, being something of an aeronaut myself.
Can you fly, Yaffle?
Well, no, not at the moment, but if you mice will be kind enough to fetch me the little green book, third along from my bookend, I will be able to give you some proper information about flying machines.
This one?
Yes, that's the one.
Heave!
Careful! Oh, you have dropped it. Oh, well, it'll do there. Now, let us have a look. Where are we? Pratt's Aeronautics. Yes, here we are. Come on, mice, come and look at this. From bits of string and this and that, a gentleman named Percy Pratt made quite a perfect aeroplane, then took it all apart again because it wouldn't fly. He made another one next day. A pity that it got away, and looped the loop above the town, then hurtled back and knocked him down. He sat and wondered why. His next machine, it was the third, he built of feathers like a bird. Flap, flap, he cried, and up I'll soar. I should have thought of it before, there's really no excuse. Just then he gave a mighty sneeze. The feathers, blown off by the breeze, went upwards, downwards, left and right, exactly like a pillow fight, and not a bit of use. I'll try once more, said Percy Pratt. If this one doesn't work, that's that. It didn't take him very long to make a plane with nothing wrong from every point of view. It may be true, as people tell, he couldn't drive it very well, and travelled, if I must be blunt, both upside down and back to front. But look at him. He flew. There we are. You see, if you want to know about a particular subject, you must study it in detail. Otherwise you will never make a flying machine that really flies.
This flying machine really flies?
This one? But this couldn't fly. No.
Heave! Heave! Heave!
But it's basically unsound. The whole idea is ridiculous. It can't possibly. Oh.
A clever young mouse, he made a contraption, flippity flappity up it flies, pulling the handle with delicate action, flippity flappity up it flies. Oh Yaffle, so clever and wise, look at us, up we're flying, easy, it's easy, we're only just trying, do you really believe your eyes?
Hey, what's going on up there? What did you say, mice? What?
Oh Yaffle, now have a good look. Are you quite sure we are really flying? This isn't the way that they flew in the book. Yaffle, oh Yaffle, just use your eyes.
What? There's something odd going on up there. It's a trick. Look, Madeleine, Gabriel, Bagpuss, look, they aren't flying at all. They're on a string. They are being hoisted about on a string.
That's right, Yaffle. You've noticed.
So the mice placed the basket carefully in the corner of the window and left it there, so that if, an old woman who wanted to brush the cobwebs out of the sky should happen to come past, she would see it there and perhaps come in to collect it. And so their work was done.
Bagpuss gave a big yawn and settled down to sleep. And of course, when Bagpuss goes to sleep, all his friends go to sleep too. The mice were ornaments on the mouse organ. Gabriel and Madeleine were just dolls. And Professor Yaffle was a carved wooden bookend in the shape of a woodpecker. Even Bagpuss himself, once he was asleep, was just an old, saggy cloth cat. Baggy and a bit loose at the seams. But Emily loved him.
One day, Paddington bought himself a camera in the market. It had a tripod, and a hood to keep out the light, and there was even a book of instructions. Altogether, it seemed very good value indeed. So after taking a quick bite of a marmalade sandwich, he got ready to take his first picture. There was a very interesting chapter in the instruction book on taking action shots. But it wasn't as easy as it sounded. In the end, he decided to take a family group. It seemed much safer.
I hope he's not long, said Mr. Brown. I've got cramp coming on.
I wouldn't move if I were you, said Jonathan. We'd never hear the last of it, agreed Judy. He's only got one plate.
I've only got one leg, groaned Mr. Brown.
Shh, Henry, said Mrs. Brown. I think he's doing something. Paddington consulted his instruction book. I have to measure the distance, he announced. I'll use this piece of string. If I don't measure the distance properly, I shan't know how far away you are, and you may come out all blurred.
I'd sooner be blurred than have my ear pulled off, grumbled Mr. Brown.
Ooh! I'm afraid bears' slipknots are a bit hard to untie, said Paddington. Anyway, I think I shall have to ask you all to move. The sun's in a different place. Perhaps if one of us took it, said Mrs. Bird, you could be in the picture yourself. Paddington considered the matter over a marmalade sandwich. I shall press the shutter, he announced, and then run round the front.
Even bears can't run that fast, murmured Mr. Brown.
Paddington gave Mr. Brown a hard stare through his lens. But as he did so, something very strange happened.
What on earth's he up to now?
Exclaimed Mr. Brown.
He looks as if he's practicing for the ballet or something. Mind my petunias.
Too late, groaned Jonathan. Are you all right? Called Mrs. Brown. I think so, Mrs. Brown, said Paddington, except I've pressed the shutter by mistake. I'm afraid I've been having trouble with a bumblebee again. It must have been after my marmalade sandwich. Perhaps I'd better finish it before anything else happens. No one, least of all Paddington, expected his photograph to come out. But to everyone's surprise, when the plate was developed and printed, there was quite a clear picture. Not bad, said Mr. Brown. Not bad at all. What is it? Take a look in my window, said the man. Paddington hurried outside in order to see for himself. Apart from his photograph, there was a label. It said, "Picture of a bumblebee, taken by local bear, both very rare."
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
One morning, Miss Hubbard, who was always up bright and early, was surprised to see Pat's van still outside his house. Goodness me, Pat should be away by now. I wonder what's wrong.
Pat, are you there? Pat! Pat! Gooey! You! Pat, it's late. Ah, there you are. Still in bed, Pat? What about the post?
Oh, dear. Is it that late? I must have overslept. Wretched alarm clock.
Morning, Pat. Must go or I'll be late as well.
Pat rushed out without any breakfast. I'd better get my skates on. They'll all wonder where I've got to.
Oh, no, my hat.
Come on, Jess. Don't just sit there.
Oh!
What are you playing at, Jess? Do you think you're Postman Jess or something? Come on, let's get moving. What a start to the day. That alarm clock couldn't have gone off. We're over an hour late already. It was past 9 o'clock at the post office. I wonder why Pat is so late, said Mrs. Goggins. Anyway, it gives me time to repair this parcel. Is that him? Oh, it's not my day today, is it? Good morning, Mrs. Goggins. Sorry I'm late. It's that alarm clock. Didn't go off, you know.
As bad as this parcel. Just look at it.
I do wish people would wrap them up properly. This is a right old mess. Can I help? Oh, my hat. This stuff sticks to everything. gosh, it's all over my fingers. Ooh, yuck. That's really sticky. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Oh. Oh, dear. You're as bad as me today, all thumbs. There you are. I think it will hold. It's just one of those days, said Pat. Thank you. Wish me luck. I need it today. There's Ted. That messy parcel is for him. We'll give it to him before it falls to bits. Hi, Ted. Got a parcel for you. Ted!
Oh, hello, Pat. Is that my parcel? It'll be those spare parts I ordered. Whoops, oh no!
Dozens of nuts and bolts, cogs and screws rolled away into the grass.
Oh dear. I'll never find them all. Not in this long grass.
Hold on, I'll give you a hand.
That's one bit, but what about all the others?
Bill Thompson had just set out from home on his way to the village when he saw Pat and Ted searching for something in the grass. Have you lost something? He said.
Yes, a lot of nuts and bolts.
I've got just the thing for that at home. I'll go and get it. I'll be back in a minute.
We'll still be here,
said Ted. What's he on about? Said Pat.
Search me.
Is this one of them? No, looks like a rusty nail.
Like this. Rubbish. We're getting nowhere.
I know. Look, the lad's back already. And he's got a magnet with him.
Hope it's a good one or it won't be much use.
Have you found much? Said Bill. Well, no, not yet. This is really powerful. Picks up anything metal. You have a try. Oh, thanks. It started to pick up all the metal bits from the grass, as well as Pat's glasses.
Over here,
said Ted. I hope they're all there, said Pat.
I'll count 'em,
said Ted.
Thanks, Pat.
Cheerio.
Ta-ra, Pat. Thanks for your help.
Here's another bit.
Thanks, Bill. That magnet came in handy.
What a day, said Pat to Jess. We'll never get through at this rate. His next stop was Thompson Ground. Alf was busy mending the barn wall. Morning, Alf. Sorry I'm late. Got some letters for you.
Just leave 'em on the table. Dorothy's away feeding the chickens. Nothing urgent, is there?
No, just a few bills.
Oops! Hey up, what are you doing?
Sorry, Alf. Hang on.
Hold it steady! Not that way, the other way. I said the other way! Oh!
Ouch! Oh, my hand. Oh, it does hurt. Ah. Oh, gosh, that's painful.
You all right, Pat? Oh, dear. Well, don't move. I'll go and get something for it.
Just then, Mrs. Thompson came back from feeding the chickens. Dear me, whatever have you been up to, Pat? Not looking where I was going, I'm afraid. Walking into ladders. You mustn't make it a habit. Now hold still and I'll bind it up for you. But you won't be able to drive today, you know. You'll have to rest it. Thanks, but what about all my letters? Said Pat. Just then, Sam Waldron drove his mobile shop into the farmyard. He noticed Pat's bandaged hand.
Hello, what happened to you?
They told him about Pat's accident and that he was unable to drive.
Why don't we put your letters and parcels in my van? Said Sam. We can do our rounds together.
Yes, and then the post will get through after all, said Pat. Thanks, Sam. That's a marvellous idea. Come on, Jess. You'll be all right in there.
Thanks, Alf. That's the lot now. Bye. We'd better get Dr. Gilbertson to take a look at that wrist, said Sam. It was their first stop anyway. Won't be long.
Hello, Pat. Goodness me, what have you been doing?
It's my wrist.
Come on in. Let's have a look at it. Ouch! Is this where it hurts? Ouch! Ah, well, it's not broken. You'll be all right in a day or two. I'll just give you something to soothe it. You'll soon be able to drive. Oh, thanks, Doctor.
Cheerio.
Bye. No need to worry. Nothing broken.
For twice a week there comes a mobile shop up to the valley. And folks are delighted when he comes around, for it always will save a long journey to town from the valley. The valley. He's always on time as he rings out his chime in the valley. Mothers can plan with a great shopping list. If he cut out his service, oh, he'd be terribly missed in the valley. The valley. Sam Waldron knows what the people will want in the valley. He buys in the town, then he takes things around. All his customers know that he won't let them down in the valley, the valley.
Thanks for the lift, Sam. It's been a funny old day. But tomorrow, well, tomorrow's another day. That's the stuff, Pat.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.
Bum, 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 boom, boom, be-dum, dum, dilly-dum, boom, boom, rum, bum, boom, ba-dum, bum, bum, boom.
This is a story about an ordinary teddy bear. When he was made, they found something wrong with him and threw him away like a piece of rubbish into an old dark storeroom. Then, from outer space, a spotty man brought him to life with his cosmic dust. He took him to a magic cloud where Mother Nature gave him special powers. That bear became SuperTed. The grasslands of East Africa. The sun glints on a distant mountain range. An elephant is walking through the long grass, making its way slowly towards the place where all elephants go to die. The elephant's graveyard. But it is not alone.
Shut up, Buck. Keep your eyes on that elephant. It'll lead us to a fortune in ivory.
Ivory? Uh-huh. What's ivory, Tex?
Bones. Great big whopping elephant bones. Lovely.
Shh. Meanwhile, beneath a treehouse in the woods.
Pulsating prune, Spotty, what was that?
Oh, great moons of Spot. It's a nightmare. Oh, a horrible, spotless nightmare.
No, Spotty, it's only an elephant.
What is it saying, SuperTed?
He's come all the way from Africa, Spotty. Someone is trying to steal all the bones from the elephant's graveyard.
Why would anyone want to steal elephant bones?
People make them into knife handles, piano keys, that kind of thing.
Well, you better say your magic word, SuperTed. It won't be too dangerous, will it, SuperTed?
I hope not.
Quiet, Bo.
I can't help it, Tex. It's hay fever.
Just do as I say, Bo.
But Tex, this long grass is tickling my nose.
Bo!
Ooh, I think you found a friend, though.
Sorry, Tex.
Shut up and follow me.
This is like a sort of nature trail, isn't it, Bulk?
Yeah.
Lots of lovely wild plants.
Yeah.
And animals. Which way now, Tex?
Keep following me.
Right you are, Tex. What's this? Oh, I think it's beginning to rain.
Oh, no. What kind of a nature trail do you call this? I'm not going in there. My bones will go soggy. Ah!
Well, where now? There's nothing here but sheer rock. Look out, Spotty, a leopard!
It's a cat. Oh, it's a lovely spotted pussycat. I haven't seen one of those since I left the planet Spot. Come here, Spottles.
Spottles? Careful, Spotty, it could be dangerous.
Oh, there's a lovely little pussycat.
Let go of him, Spotty.
No, all right. Off you go, Spottles.
Did you see that, Spotty? I think it's through there. The entrance to the elephant's graveyard. Come on.
This place gives me the creeps. Can't we go back, Tex?
No, we can't. We gotta find those elephant bones.
What are we going to do with elephant bones, Tex?
Carve them up.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And make them into necklaces.
Oh, that's horrible. Ooh, the very thought of it makes my bones quake. Ah! That's it, I'm going back.
No, look! Did you hear that, Spotty?
There's something in there.
It sounded scary.
And horrible.
And ghastly.
And terrifying.
And we'd better get in there quick before we get too frightened. Come on.
I don't like it, SuperTed. It's a bit airy.
There's no one here.
Well, maybe we should go back.
No, Spotty, we must keep going. Look. They're getting away. Quick, get back, Spotty.
Don't worry. I'll get that oversized donut.
What?
SuperTed! SuperTed, where are you?
I'm under here.
Are you all right?
I think so. No bones broken. Where's Bulk?
I'm not here, really. This isn't me. I'm invisible. Get me?
Yes, get him, Spotty. I'll go after Tex and Skeleton.
Come on, Bulk.
I'm coming.
Guess I was a little too quick for that puny teddy bear.
That's what you think, Texas Pete.
Don't come too close, you dare. This tusk could cut you to the bone. Get the point?
Yes, I've got it. There's nothing like a cold shower to cool you down. Now, where's that bag of bones skeleton?
Don't eat me, please. There's not an ounce of flesh in my body. Nothing you could call meat. No, please.
Ah, Skeleton, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Bone? Oh, pick any bone you like. Only take me away from this horrible place. I can't stand it. I can't.
Much later.
Well, Spotty, I don't think anyone will disturb the elephants again. Spotty?
Spot, Spot, a lovable Spot. He's soft and cuddly and he smiles a lot. If there ever was a pup to cheer you up, it's Spot, Spot, a Spot.
In the morning, Spot helped his mother do the shopping. Thank you, Spot. Now one of those.
Muff.
No, not that one, Spot.
Muff.
After lunch, he went into the park with his dad.
Boo! Oh dear! Oh, 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 oh!
Oh, it's you, Spot. At tea time, Tom came round to play.
Hello, Spot. I've come to play. Woof, woof, woof.
Tom! Where are you, Tom? Boo! After that, Spot was tired and ready for bed. It was fun today, wasn't it? Said Teddy. Yes, I suppose it was, yawned Spot. But I'm glad it's bedtime now. Good night. Night, night. Spot went into the garden for a last walk round.
Hello, Spot,
said the bird.
It's time for me to go to bed. Me too,
said Spot. I've just woken up, said the owl. I've got lots to do tonight. Rather you than me, said Spot. And he went back indoors. Spot kissed his dad goodnight, bounded upstairs, and jumped into his basket.
Woof, woof.
Spot's mum came in to say goodnight. Read me a story, Mum, said Spot. All right, said Sally. Now, let me see. Where did we get to? No. Spot snuggled down, cosy and warm. Ah, yes, here we are. Oh, you are a tired little pup, said Sally. Good night, Spot. Sweet dreams. And that's Spot.
Do you know where to go when you're feeling all alone? So Barney, Barney. And if life lets you down, he'll be good to have around. Barney, Barney. Should you knock upon his door, he'll offer you a friendly paw. When he's mischievous and fun, into trouble he can run. Barney, Barney.
Every Thursday, Barney reads the TV column in the Daily Dog.
Look, Barney, good-looking dog needed for new TV show. That's you, my son.
Do you really think I could be a star?
Sure. Even Cornelia thinks so.
She's right. I can! Oh, you great big wonderful star, you. Let's get out there and show them. Single tickets to Glitter Town, please.
Singles? Are we coming back then?
When you're famous, you come back in a Rolls Royce. we're here.
Straight to make up with you.
Was he one of the big stars?
No, sweetheart, he was the lift operator. Whatever are we going to do with all this hair? You tell me.
Nothing fancy, if you don't mind. That's my home you're talking about.
Barney, can we have Barney, please?
Calling Barney.
Barney?
Now, do exactly what I tell you. No showing off.
Lights, music.
Juggle. Now, your song. Oh, watch it! Oh, whoa, whoa, I'm slipping! Whoa,
Love me. They love me.
Get him off! Get him off my show! No, not the little fella. He's got real star quality. Take it from the top.
So they did return home in a Rolls-Royce after all. Only this time, it was Roger in the back.
Do you know where to go when you're feeling all alone? So Barney, Barney, and if life lets you down, he'll be good to have around. Barney, Barney, should you knock upon his door, he'll offer you a friendly paw. When he's mischievous and fun, into trouble he can run. Barney, Barney.
Noddy, the little man with the red and yellow car. Noddy, his tinkling bell means he's the happiest little fellow in all Toyland. There's Biggies and Tubby and Mr. Plod and all his special friends. It's sixpence an adventure, then he'll take you home again. Noddy, 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 Noddy.
It was a very, very bright day in Toyland, and everyone was busy spring cleaning.
There you are, shining like new.
My word, Noddy. What a gleaming car.
I can't wait to drive about in it.
Would you drive to town for me, please? And fetch some tins of paint and 2 big brushes? Mr. Tubby wants to paint the house, but we've only got a bit of old red paint left. I've made a list.
Thank you, Mrs. Tubby. I hope my car won't dazzle your eyes. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, Noddy.
Are you all right up there, Mr. Plod? Oh, yes, thank you. But keep holding onto that ladder, please.
Hey, Biggies!
Oh, it's you, Noddy. You made me jump.
Can you see my house from the top of your ladder, Mr. Plod?
Oh, yes. I can see Master Tubby Bear going up to your front door.
Is he taking back my stool?
Well, he's carrying something. And Tessie Bear's going up your path.
I'd better go home and see what's happening. Goodbye, Biggies.
Don't go so fast, Noddy.
That was a lovely cake, Tessie. Tessie, what's the matter? Oh, Noddy! Noddy, just look at you. What are you laughing at? Look at
the back of your trousers? I can't see my back.
Noddy, you must come quickly. What are you doing?
Trying to look at my back.
Noddy. You really must look in the mirror.
Oh, no! Who's painted my trousers red?
It must have come off your red stool, Noddy.
Oh, yes, that horrid Master Tubby Bear. He's repainted my stool and I sat down on the paint. I shall paint his nose red and I'll paint his ears green and...
Noddy, no. There isn't time for all this painting. Mr. Plod needs your help.
Mr. Plod? Why?
He was stretching too far and he fell off his ladder from top to bottom. Bump!
Oh, dear. Is he badly hurt?
Well, not badly, although he has dented his helmet.
Poor Mr. Plod.
He's going to stay at my house so I can look after him until he's better. We need you to drive him there in your car, Noddy.
Yes, of course.
But, do change your trousers first.
How long will you have to stay in bed, Mr. Plod?
Well, the doctor says I must rest for 3 days.
But who will look after Toy Town and make sure nobody does anything bad?
Yes, who will be the policeman now?
I shall. I've given Big Ears his own special helmet and he can help me whenever I need. So just you behave yourselves, Tessie and Noddy. Noddy can help you, Big Ears. It's very hard work directing traffic and watching out for thieves.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Plod.
There's not much traffic to direct this morning.
No, but we can practice with pedestrians. Halt, please. Let Jumbo pass.
Thank you.
Carry on.
Really, Noddy, how very silly you are. Policemen don't direct pedestrians. And you haven't even got a helmet.
Go along, please. Don't be so rude. Big Ears, I wish I'd got a helmet.
Aha! Here comes some traffic. Right, Sally Skittle. I've stopped the traffic. You can cross the road now.
But we don't want to cross the road.
Hurry along, please. The milkman has to go about his business.
Oh, all right. Come along, children.
Big Ears! Big Ears! You'll have to wait, Mr. Sparks. There are children crossing.
But I want to report a burglary. Someone's stolen 2 bicycles from me garage.
Good gracious! Oh, dear, I'm afraid I'm terribly busy directing all this traffic.
I'm being a policeman as well, Mr. Sparks. I'll come and investigate.
Oh, thank you, Noddy.
Well, all right. But you must be careful, Noddy. Honk, honk. Oh, sorry, milkman. Carry on.
All the doors were locked, so the robbers must have passed the bicycles up through the skylight, climbed over the roof, and then down to the ground.
I'll catch them for you. Now, let me see. Oh, look. It was raining last night. There are muddy tyre tracks on the ground.
Well done, Noddy.
The robbers must have hopped on the bicycles just here and ridden off up the road. I'll get my car and follow them. I can't take you much further, little car. I'll have to follow the tracks on foot. This is silly. Bicycles can't suddenly disappear into the air. Oh, but they can. But where are the robbers? What's that? And it's coming from this tree. Sly and Gobbo, those bad goblins. No wonder they sleep all day if they go round robbing people all night. I must stop the goblins escaping from that tree until Big Ears can help me arrest them. I know.
holly bush.
Ooh, what's going on? Ow! What's all this holly doing, ya?
Help!
Help! Help!
Nobody's going to help you two bad robbers.
Noddy, is that you? Ow! Oh, let us out!
Why didn't the holly hurt you, Noddy? Because I'm made of wood, silly.
Well done, Noddy. Now I can rest happily knowing those goblins are in prison.
We're so proud of you.
Yeah, you really ought to have a reward, Mr. Plod. I agree. Noddy, what would you like?
Well, I suppose I should like someone to paint my house for me. I'm not very good at painting.
Well, Mr. Tubby Bear loves painting, and we shall pay him to paint Noddy's house.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Plod. But I should most like to carry on helping Big Ears until you're better.
I couldn't do without you, Noddy.
And what I should even more most like is to wear a proper police helmet.
Well, my spare helmet's on that chair. Try it on.
Whoa, I shall look so important. Do hurry up and get better, Mr. Plod. I shouldn't like Noddy to be in any more danger. I'm sorry, Mr. Plod. This helmet is a bit big.
Noddy, the little man with the red and yellow car. Noddy, his tinkling bell means he's the happiest little fellow in all Toyland. There's Biggies and Tubby and Mr. Plod and all his special friends. It's sixpence an adventure, then he'll take you home again. And now it's time for Noddy to wave and say goodbye. He's tired and sleepy and nodding his head. He's ready to curl himself up in bed and see what tomorrow brings. Oh, Noddy, Noddy, Noddy.
Brum. It was Brum's day for exploring the big town. On his way, he brummed past the airport. What's that? My wheels and wipers. It's a helicopter. Hello, Brum, said the helicopter pilot. Hello, said Brum. I wish I could fly, he thought. And then he stopped in his tracks. He couldn't believe his headlamps. Everyone in the big town was behaving rather strangely. It was Sweethearts' Day, when everyone in the big town gave chocolates to the person they loved best. I wonder who the lollipop lady loves, thought Brum. I've no one to be my sweetheart, Brum, she said. But just then, Mickey Mender came by in his truck. I know. I'll give my chocolates to Mickey, said the lollipop lady. Mickey, wait! But Mickey didn't hear. Oh, he's gone, said the lollipop lady. Come on, said Brum. Let's look for him. I wonder where the lollipop lady's gone, said Mickey. I want her to be my sweetheart. Hey, Brum. I'm looking for the lollipop lady. Have you seen her? Oh, no, she's looking for you, said Brum. Come on. Hello, Brum. Have you seen Mickey? Only just this minute, said Brum. He's looking for you. There he is. Look. Stop, said Brum. Make way for sweethearts. Sweethearts Crossing. Whoops! Oh, Brum, he's gone again. I'm never going to find her, thought Mickey. Oh, Brum, I'm never going to find him, said the lollipop lady. You'll have to be my sweetheart instead. But then what do you think happened? Oh, my wheels and wipers, said Brum. The lollipop lady's going up in the air. And so she was, on the window cleaner's cradle. Don't panic, said Brum. Help, said the lollipop lady. Where am I going? Help! The lollipop lady went up and up and up. Higher and higher. Help! What are we going to do, Brum? Said Mickey. Don't worry, said Brum. I think I know where I can get help. Help! Rescue! Brum! Brum! And Brum and the helicopter brought the lollipop lady safely down. Mickey! Lollipop lady! Sweethearts, thought Brum. Thanks, mate. Your our sweetheart too, Brum. Bye-bye, Brum. Bye. And off he brummed all the way home.